to another highly questionable Thursday. Izzy Gutierrez. My father really likes Izzy. He's still around with us today. What do you like on the show today, Izzy? That doesn't mean I don't like him. It just means my father really likes him. What do you like on the show today?
With all the finger pointing in Dallas, Thursday Night Football might actually be interesting tonight.
Dale, papi.
Was last night a win for Alonso Ball and the Lakers, even though they lost?
Really? Big baller brand, 15 points is what we're going to call a victory, even a loss to Golden State. Yes, he made a couple of shots, and now he is up to, at home, shooting 17% from three-point land. By making a couple of three-pointers, he improved to 17%. He seems to be a little short-circuited when it comes to shooting specifically at home with all that pressure that his father helped create in Los Angeles. So him making shots at home is the encouragement.
And his father continued to put pressure on him in the pregame by saying, again, that he thinks his son is better than Steph Curry. But with all due respect to both balls, this wasn't about Lonzo. This wasn't about... he wasn't even the story on his own team. Brandon Ingram is the story of the Lakers and showing you that he is their current to next superstar, and Lonzo has a long way to go. So seeing Brandon Ingram there is encouraging for the Lakers as well. When it comes to the Warriors, though, I'm also super intrigued by Steve Kerr saying that his team's basically not trying very hard right now or not motivated, and this is that team with these super high expectations that is underperforming.
I stopped listening to you the moment that you said you had to give all due respect to both balls. I stopped listening. Anything he said after that doesn't matter.
Will an $89 million donation from the NFL quell player protest?
What a random number, huh? Just $89 million. Everybody stand up for $89 million, huh? It's a little weird, right? Not $100 million, $89 million. We're not willing to go to $90 million. $89 million is where we're going to go. That seems like a lot of money. And honestly, it is a lot of money to go to really important and good causes. And Colin Kaepernick has wrought this particular day. However, because it feels like there are strings attached to this, because it feels like, okay, will you stand up and give up your dignity in exchange for $89 million? You're seeing why people look at it cynically and say $89 million, which is a lot of money. By any definition, for just about any cause, you could view it as a marketing tool in this particular instance if you want to be cynical about it.
And some of those skeptics and cynics are in or were in that players coalition. Eric Reed, one of them, who pulls out and says maybe he doesn't feel the same way as the other guys on that coalition. But here's the thing. If there are actually strings attached, I get it. But if there aren't strings attached, if it's not written into the agreement that these players have to stand, go ahead, take the money, which is the most they've given to any organization or any cause, period, and then dare them, if you continue to kneel, to take the money away. Because if it's not written down, then you can still do it.
I would love to see that happen. Guy kneels, and then they start trying to prorate this confusing $89 million, saying, no, we need some of that back because you knelt and you violated the agreement.
Can Herm Edwards succeed at Arizona State?
I did not see this one coming from anywhere. He is 63 years old. And as an added bonus, the Good Old Boy Network is working on behalf of the black head coach who has lived long enough to be aided by a friend who happens to be the athletic director at Arizona State. Arizona State hasn't mattered in our lifetime. So he can coach, and he will be there trying very hard to motivate players and selling a program with a famous name. But I will remind you that Herm Edwards made a great television career that got him this job after a 2-23 ending to his Chiefs career that made me convinced he would never work in football again.
Listen, predicting success for a college head coach, not really my thing. Don't really care to do it. This one is just super interesting because it's Herm, because he hasn't coached anywhere since 2008, because he hasn't coached in college since 1989, and his agents, friends, what have you, are the AD and the associate AD, and you're just like, I don't know if this is the formula for turning over sort of a middling program in college football, but I kind of want to see if it works out. That's pretty much it.
Hey, Herm, if you are hiring people for your staff, hey, I'm working at the ESPN. I'll be ready for you. Just give me a call.
A young coach. Are you looking for a young coach, an intern, a graduate assistant, right here?
Young coach.
Yeah.
I have a Heisman vote.
Oh, wait a minute. What are you offering him? Wait a minute. What are you offering him? A Heisman vote? Okay. You might get we're going to get a write-in Arizona State candidate for the Heisman.
I think he'll get fired for that.
Should the Cowboys consider benching Dak if he doesn't play well tonight?
I mean, what kind of question is this? Who's the backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys? I thought Tony Romo was going to be their quarterback, and the reason they said they didn't want Tony Romo is because this guy wasn't just a game manager. He was a guy who could help with their running game, bring them to a championship. And you're seeing without Ezekiel Elliott, and I don't know what happened to Dez Bryant, but he stopped being a #1 receiver. Dak needs a lot of help to be good, and at that position, you want guys who could be good without a lot of help.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and blame Dak. Sure, like that's the problem. I mean, you even got Jerry Jones sitting here talking about basically saying he wants better coaching out of his coach, and now you're talking about other people saying, hey, maybe Jason Garrett is coaching for his career or Dallas Cowboys career as this season goes along. Never mind that the makeup of this team shouldn't be that when you lose Ezekiel Elliott that it just collapses. And so now you've got everybody pointing fingers at Dak Prescott, and maybe he's not the problem because his backup is some rookie from Central Michigan that nobody really knows.
Oh, I know this guy. His name is Cooper Rush.
Yes, Cooper Rush from Central Michigan. You might not know who he is.
Oh, please.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's why I almost gave him my Heisman vote.
Oh, for the love of God. Central Michigan Heisman.
Check him out. Very carefully, you know what I mean?
Central Michigan need a head coach.
That's right. Is Sackett going to be a big issue for Ben Simmons moving forward?
How am I supposed to know the answer to this question? Possibly when Ben Simmons doesn't know the answer to this question. When short-circuiting of the mind on free throws is something that has contaminated people in this sports for a long time. The Washington Wizards were down big yesterday, and so in the fourth quarter they decided to start fouling Ben Simmons. The lead got cut, and he took 24 free throws and made half of them over the course of the game. If he continues to shoot that way from the line, they will continue to do it that way when they get behind.
Well, first, this is the first example that those rules that the NBA put in for the last 2 minutes of each quarter isn't really going to affect this strategy. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. But when it comes to Ben Simmons, I'm not even worried a little bit. Like, I've seen enough of him so far to know that if this is what motivates him to go ahead and improve those free throws, improve his outside shooting, then fine, that'll work. But really, overall, just him as a player, you look at him and you say, I'm not worried about this guy missing some free throws and affecting his game or short-circuiting his brain or anything like that. That guy's really tough and really mentally tough.
So Ben Simmons, he misses a lot of free throws when the pressure is on, huh?
No, just last night.
When the pressure is on.
The pressure's on.
Okay, it's just like LeBron, that's all.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't see where we were headed.
I don't know how you didn't see that coming, man.
My bad. I should have seen that coming.
Coming up next on my son Stevie's show, Dante Jones.
Here he comes through the door with an arrow lit. So we're like, man, what is about to go on? He has his little speech. He throws the arrow. It misses the towels, lights the floor on fire.
What can you tell us about your memorable D-League experiences? What can you tell us about the climb and sort of some of the places you found yourself in when you're like, man, this doesn't feel like where I want to go?
My first D-League experience was, most people don't know that I got released from a team in Sacramento, and the only reason I got released wasn't because of bad performance, because Mike Bibby got traded for like 5 people. So they released the people with 1-year deals to make room for that trade. So for the first time, I'm like 26, 27, and I can't play basketball. And my agent was negotiating with teams on deals, and they were non-guaranteed deals for the following year. So he was like, I don't really want to do it, but I'm still negotiating. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm getting kind of like frustrated. So I had like a high anxiety attack because basketball wasn't there for me to release my stress. So it felt like a small heart attack. So I was in the hospital. I was in the emergency room hospital for like 2 or 3 days, and they were like, you need to relieve your stress in some capacity. And can you play anywhere? Can you do anything? And I was like, no. But my agent said, well, you can play in the D-League. So signed up for the D-League, and he was like, we got a team out in Fort Wayne for you to play last 9 games of the year. You can play, have some fun until I solve this issue before the playoffs. So I go, and they were like, okay, well, your first game's in North Dakota. Have you ever been? No. So you take 2 planes to North Dakota.
Oh, so cold.
And it's like -10.
Yeah.
And there's like 2-3 feet of snow on the ground when you get there. So I didn't pack for this. I wasn't really paying attention. So I have a coat, but I don't have the coat. And I'm there in like a Best Western for like 2 days because my team can't get in.
Can you tell us, though, what it felt like to think like you were having a heart attack because you didn't have basketball?
Well, it wasn't. I didn't have a stress relief. I don't do much except play basketball. And for the first time, I was in a stressful contract situation of like my career was up in. You go from college to pros. You go from having a 4-year deal to in contract negotiations when you don't know when it's going to come. And then I had some life issues that brought a little bit more stress than normal. But it felt like my heart was jumping out of my chest, and I could hear my heartbeat like literally as we're talking, all you hear is this huge pounding, and when you feel it, it's huge pounding. So got to the point where I was like, my mother rushed me to the hospital because we knew this wasn't right.
Were you scared? Because I don't know that there's very much weakness in that. I feel like there's a strength in sort of overcoming it.
Yeah, I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. I knew it wasn't normal. I knew we had to find out what was going on. I didn't know if I had an irregular heartbeat. I didn't know what was going on. But the doctor, when he prescribed it, it was like, you need a little bit of rest right now, but you also need some type of way to relieve your stress. So I started playing golf, finding other ways to get away from life in general. But basketball was my ultimate savior at that point in time, even going to the D-League and being able to compete.
We were telling the story recently of Coach K storming into the locker room, like wearing, I think, an Army helmet with the word attack written across it. Do you have a good Coach K story for us, like the memorable one?
I have a great one. It was during my redshirt year, and we were about to play Michigan. And we come into the locker room, and it's a bunch of towels down on the floor, and lights are out. We go to watch this like motivational video. It's Braveheart. So with the arrow and on the horse and the speech, and they light the arrow, throw it, and then here he comes through the door with an arrow lit. So we're like, man, what is about to go on? He has his little speech. He throws the arrow. It misses the towels, lights the floor on fire, wall catches fire, and everybody's runs out, and they have like a 30-0 start on Michigan. It was the year we won the national championship, and it was crazy.
So wait a minute. You guys were all excited and stuff, but it sounds like it was kind of a disaster.
It's kind of like pandemonium in there. Like when you look back, it wasn't supposed to happen like that, but it worked as a motivational tactic.
Yes, it also could have burnt the entire Duke basketball team to the ground.
We could have died, yes.
Which would have been a scandal. Like that would have been a little problematic if that had gone awry.
Yeah, but everything
you
turned out.
got up by 30, so it's all worth it, right?
It's all
you got
worth
up by
it.
30.
Yeah.
Senor Jones, Poppy wants a crack at you. What do you got, Poppy?
Yes, your dad, he played college basketball. How old were you when you first beat him in one-on-one?
Oh, yeah. You remember when you dunked on your dad? Did you ever dunk on your dad?
I was 16 when I beat my dad one-on-one. But my dad was in amazing shape, and he's one of those guys that was playing in like 2-3 leagues after work and things. He was still dunking at the time. So I finally put him down at like 15, 16, and then he stopped playing me.
Right then he retired?
He just stopped playing me. Because at that point in time, I'm 16, right. I'm 6'6", 225, and he's like, we just couldn't have that going in our household. We were really bad at it.
All right, but he didn't make any announcement of that's it? Like, I quit, you have made me retire by beating me. There was no official press release, nothing like that. He just quit playing you and then kept playing against his friends who he could beat.
Right. He quit playing me and quit taking advantage of me. I was fortunate to have a dad to make me as competitive as I am, because the first time we did play, like, my dad still had a crazy vertical, so like he dunked on me like backwards, did a 360, like he just destroyed me, and he kept destroying me up until I got 15. So it kept that fervor in me to be able to catch him slipping.
That's a nice way of putting it. It sounds like cowardice. When he was reverse dunking on you, you could play all the time.
I was mad.
The moment that you beat him, he gets out of there and like, okay, yeah. I'm done. I'm going to go play with Ralph. All right, see you later.
Yeah, we're best friends. We're best friends after that. But up until then, he was having fun beating up on the little kid.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
Dante. Gracias. Their hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that needs to buy some duct tape, plastic wrap, some bleach. Do you question?
You give us topics and events, and we question them.
Do you question if you can still catch a flight even after it is already taken off?
Okay, I cannot wait to see this. Have that as one of the options.
I'm not impressed at all. Who are they traveling suitcases?
Oh,
that's right. I mean, that's right. You gotta go in there with a suitcase.
Did you check the baggage?
Anybody can do that. Anybody can pull that stuff. With a suitcase, that's a different. Okay. If you take two, then you're really talking now.
You also got to charge a little bit more for that.
Yeah, $50.
Time to play the game that only pretends to have human emotions. See? Or no?
Tell us what to watch on television tonight. He will always be intrigued.
On NBC and the NFL Network, Thursday Night Football, Washington and Dallas.
Normally you'd be interested in this, but these teams aren't going anywhere this season. Let's check in with Tony Romo, dancing instead with Tiana Taylor, the wife of Iman Shumpert.
What?
Oh, wow. Okay, that wasn't really dancing. Okay, this is...
An ugly face?
That is what I
That is the
imagined that
most
would look
important.
like, to be honest.
I mean, there's not even any music, and he's got a terrible dance face.
Oh,
Like, I don't want to look at him when he's
that is sensual in nature.
Ooh.
terrible.
Also-
It's like he's wrestling an
Oh,
alligator.
he's the other way.
Yeah, that was a reverse
You
roller.
reversed him. Whoa.
Okay, that right
Wow.
there. Okay.
She's a terrible
All
teacher.
right. I never want to see that again. Although that might be how he feels now that Dak is failing. He might be like, woo! Izzy, are you intrigued?
I am not intrigued. It might be on in the background, but I'm not really interested in Thursday night football as much.
Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. You know, Antonio Romo, he looks happier now that he's not in that huddle with the Cowboys. You know, he's enjoying life more. You know, that's a snapshot of what he's doing, you know. When he's not on the field, but when he's not on the booth, he's enjoying life, you know.
With that kind of dancing, though, I would not claim him as Hispanic.
No. Well, I tell you one thing. I mean, Tony's, he's
not going to tell us one thing. He ran out of things to say.
On FYI, Sheffield Real Estate.
Poppy, this is about the booming real estate in Florida. You've seen it. Look at my father.
Oh, they're singing my song.
Okay, there's a song being sung, and it is my father's. Let's check out this video.
I'm Deleon Sheffield, and my mother and I sell luxury homes in one of the fastest growing real estate markets in the country, the state of Florida.
Work your stuff, honey.
Who wouldn't want to wake up to this every day? It can be a lot juggling 3 kids and my husband, Gary Sheffield. One ride.
One ride.
Can you Sheffield? Yes!
Oh, I love Gary. Gary's one of my favorite athletes ever. Is Gary in the show, or is that all he's doing right there? He's just being the husband. Izzy, are you intrigued?
No, not really. I can't afford that stuff, but I will watch the show that shows them dealing with post-hurricane issues because they're building way too many things down here, and they're just all going to get blown down one
Did
day.
they forget that out here? The reason there wasn't anything out here before is because, look, there's nothing that protects us from those Category 5s. You see, they just come in from right out. Oh, it's not right out there right now. All right, anyway, Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. You know, I'll tell you something. My wife is into real estate, too, and she's going to bury them, you know?
Oh,
She's
wow.
going to get
Okay.
Sheffield out of business,
right.
you know?
I mean, she's very
Because
good.
she's going to undercut their commission, and then
Yeah,
she's going
she
to...
is.
That's right,
Yes.
buddy. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
she offers a
better deal.
complete type of approach to real estate. Not just, you know, she goes for broke, you know
What
what
does
I
that
mean?
mean? A
She
complete-
takes you out for supper, he takes you out for dinner, she buys you a café con leche, you know, the whole bottle of
It
wax.
doesn't matter what it means, Dan. That's how you do it, buddy.
That's how you do it.
do it.
Very aggressive.
In Australia, Studio 10 News.
Oh, here's what we've got. You guys are going to enjoy this. These are the chemicals involved. We've got liquid nitrogen. We've got Australia. We've got a scientist trying to make a rocket out of Coca-Cola. I wonder
mean-
what could go wrong.
Here we go.
So what do you do?
I'll put in the liquid nitrogen, and when I say invert it, that means turn it upside down.
Right.
Then you're... Whoa! Then you turn it upside down.
that Tosh.
Okay.
You are.
And then what do I do with it?
Turn it, just sort of face it towards the sky, not towards the cameras.
Upside down?
Upside down. I've done it twice. You should have been
I
watching.
wasn't watching.
Oh, no. Yes, there's the disaster at the end.
Why was she in such a rush?
Yeah, she's just scared and terrified because, as I mentioned, liquid nitrogen, a rocket, Coca-Cola, a scientist, like a lot of things were going to go wrong there. Izzy, are you intrigued?
I don't know. I guess not. I'm not going to
I
watch
don't know.
that.
It's not one of the options. It's see or no. It's a very simple damn game. Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. You know, I'm telling you something that, you know, getting hit by a flying bottle of Coca-Cola, that sounds delicious, you know what I mean?
That's true. I mean, wait a minute.
That
Now that we
sounds
think about it, if you think about it that way, can we make a flying hamburger rocket? Because I'd be here for that.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
Talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
See you mañana.
I look like Pepto-Bismol.